A story mode in a fighting game is usually kind of polarizing. The hardcore players will usually say they don't need a story mode because all they care about is the online and the multiplayer ranked matches, but the more casual fans usually enjoy something like that. I myself enjoy a story mode from time to time, especially when jumping into a new kind of fighting game to get myself warmed up and familiarized with the mechanics. Dragon Ball FighterZ is going beyond just a warm-up type of story mode though, and today that's what we're talking about. My name's Globku, welcome to today's video. So we'll be mainly talking about the mechanics of story mode, not the actual plot, not the actual story, because I don't want to spoil too much, but even if I wanted to spoil too much, it's not like we've got that much information. We could go into some speculation stuff based off the new cutscenes that we've seen, but we're just not going to do that. I believe that a story is better experienced if we go in fresh and don't theorize too much. Because once you start theorizing, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. You always think your ideas are better than the other people's ideas, so just don't think about it. Don't have any ideas. It's my motto for 2018. Once again, shout out to all the different channels that have gathered footage for story mode. You can find links for everything I used for my research in the description down below. So everything in Dragon Ball FighterZ happens in the lobby, and you might remember the lobby system from the beta, where you could pair up with other players and play multiplayer matches, but also there were a bunch of buildings surrounding that central area, and they were all closed off. Well, one of them is actually how you access story mode. Now, you don't necessarily need to connect to the internet to play this single player content, as it seems that there is an offline lobby that can be accessed. So similar to Xenoverse, where you can choose to log into an online lobby or an offline lobby, it seems the same thing is happening here. The lobby system is of course not something new for Arc Systems, who has developed the Guilty Gear series, and they very much had a lobby system in there too. But with Arc Systems building this game to be multiplayer focused, them including a lobby system even for single player content, I think it's a brilliant idea. Even if you're just playing offline, you're getting comfortable and you're getting used to the lobby, so it's not too hard to jump into the online stuff. I think this will be more attractive for players jumping from casual, taking the step into the fighting game community, getting used to the lobby at their own pace, at their own time, getting used to a system like this. It can be kind of overwhelming at first. If you're able to navigate the space at your own time, this will help bring players to the online scene. Anyway, after you jump into story mode, you'll see several menu items. The three on top are for each arc that happens in story mode. The first one is the Super Warrior arc. The second and third one are for Frieza and Android 18. Maybe they have different names. Maybe Frieza's is the villain arc and Android 18 is the androids arc, since there are multiple playable androids. But these are the three arcs that we see in the official trailer. We can't see very clearly if there will be more, but the trailer does say clearly that there will be 3 arcs, so there's no reason to suspect there will be more than that. But each arc does seem to be divided into different chapters and different maps, so it sounds like there will be a lot of content there. Especially since the whole thing is designed to be replayed, which is a unique idea for a fighting game story mode, and I just want to congratulate the developers for trying something new. Even if it comes out and it sucks, goddamn they are trying, and that's gotta count for something. So these 3 arcs are going to take you through different stories and give you different playable characters. The only one that we have footage for is the Super Warrior arc, so that's what we'll be using as an example. In this arc, for instance, you'll have some heroes to play with. I suspect you only start with Goku, and then you need to rescue some other characters. Though in the gameplay that we see, you already start with Goku and Krillin. But how do you rescue characters? What's this weird map on my story mode? What's all this stuff? Well, I'm very glad that you asked, because it's all connected. So in story mode, you get to choose what you want to do. It doesn't seem like it will change the actual story, the plot. The plot seems to be very fixed. But it will change how you level up your characters, because this game mode is kind of an RPG. And this map is how you choose what to do. On the top right corner, we can read Chapter 4, Map 4, along with the name of the chapter. So this isn't really the beginning of the game, and the players already have Krillin and Goku, but obviously all of this could change in the final game. This could just be like a demo for press. On the top left, you have something that says turns remaining. Everything you do in this mode spends a turn. If you move from one place to another, you spend a turn. If you enter a fight, you spend a turn. The more turns you spend, the stronger your enemies on the board will become, but also the more experience they will give you if you defeat them. So you can look for an easy way to beat each chapter, or you can spend time fighting every single battle on that map, leveling up your characters if you're confident that you can beat a much stronger enemy by the end of it. Looking at this map at first glance, it can be a bit confusing, but it's actually very easy to understand what's in there. there once you look a bit closer. It's easy to see what you should always be aiming towards and what you can get out of this map in general. So the character portraits only show the enemy that you're fighting once you reach that place. Let's ignore that for now because it's not relevant. What matters the most is the icon right next to them. There's a question mark icon, a green happy guy icon, and a purple head-to-head icon. The question mark signals a battle tutorial. We expect these to only show up in the first couple of maps. These are battles with some tips that teach you how to play the game, and their difficulty is like super dumb easy. The green happy guy icon is for rescue events. These are battles where you can recruit other fighters to fight for your team. They're usually accompanied by a cool cutscene, so some story might also happen during these events. As I've said, this demo starts with Goku and Krillin, and as you might know, Dragon Ball FighterZ supports teams of 3, so you might want to recruit some more fighters to use in the future. Or if you want to, you can have only the one character on your team. That's totally a possibility too. And finally, we have the purple head-to-head icon, which signals a boss battle. This is once again story relevant. There are cutscenes to go with these boss battles. And here you will usually fight just one character, but this character will usually have more health or deal more damage. Every boss probably works differently. In this case, it's Cell, and as you can see, you could just go straight to Cell with Goku and Krillin, or you can try to recruit Yamcha if you want to play it safe and bring more characters into this boss fight. Now, of course, you will spend some turns trying to rescue Yamcha, and Cell is going to get stronger if you spend too much time on this board, but having an extra character might work out better for you. I also want to point out that sometimes new battles can pop up after certain events. For instance, this footage from Mary Station. In his video, he went straight up to clone Goku for a tutorial battle on his very first move, and after he cleared that event, a new battle against the clone Krillin showed up at the bottom. So I'm guessing that you can grind the heck out of these maps if you want to. Also, before jumping into any battle, you can also check what rewards you're gonna get, so you can also choose where to go first depending on that. But of course, these rewards don't make a lot of sense if you don't know how you can use them, so let's break down the menus, on how you customize your team, on how you build it, and equipping skills and all of that. So as I've mentioned, you can equip from 1 to 3 characters on your team. Each character that participates in a battle will earn some XP and get stronger. Each character levels up individually, and this is important because the more you play of story mode, the higher levels of your enemies become. So you want to keep leveling your team so none of your characters become out-leveled and useless. Getting XP is pretty straightforward. You win battles and get XP for the characters that participated in fights, or even the ones that just sat in the sidelines, didn't really do anything during the battle, but they were there. So you're always encouraged to having a full roster on your team. If your characters happen to take some damage during a fight, the damage actually stays there, and that's another reason why recruiting new characters is important. Because if all of your characters die, then that's game over. So managing the health of your characters is going to be important, at least if the difficulty ramps up. Of course, right now the difficulty is super easy, and after each match, you do regenerate a little bit of health for your characters, so you don't really need to swap out anyone at this level if you don't want to, but I fully expect the difficulty to ramp up significantly in the final game. But we're not done yet. Your team isn't the only thing that's customizable. You, the player, you're also a character in this Dragon Ball story, and you're also participating in the gameplay. You can equip 3 different player skills on yourself, and these can be a lot of things. They can be attack power, assist gauge charging faster, ki charging faster. There's a lot more, and these bonuses will apply to your entire team. So yeah, with this in mind, it makes the map very easy to read, right? I think many of you are already looking at this map and thinking of different ways of tackling it. Some are trying to be optimal, going for those 2 rescue missions and then fighting a boss. Others are going straight for the boss to get him as weak as possible before attempting the rescue missions. The point being, you can choose, and some missions will be tougher because of your choices. And this is why this game mode is designed to be replayed, with the difficulty ramping up. And if these maps are sort of procedurally generated, maybe you could get different recruitment missions for different characters in a different order. So instead of having Krillin and Yamcha at the start, maybe you're getting Tien and, I don't know, Nappa. So when you end up fighting these bosses, you have a different lineup. Or maybe the tiles themselves have changed, so now you need to take more turns before you actually reach a boss. And we'll see how much there is to it in the final game, but the concept does sound very, very interesting. It's not a story mode that you just kind of play and be done with. I can only hope that they can deliver on it. And that's it for today's video. It is an interesting concept for a fighting game story in my opinion, but I'd love to know what you think of it. Let me know what's going on in your brain in the comments down below. below. It's been a while since we talked about Dragon Ball FighterZ. Last time we talked about Beerus, Hit, and Goku Black and how they fit into the roster. You can check that video right here. If you're in the mood for something else, there's also the video at the bottom, but as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!